The Indian River County Chamber of Commerce does not endorse any political candidates. We provide these videos to our community and to our members to offer them the opportunity to be educated as we go into a busy political season. Introducing Eric Flowers, running for Indian River County Sheriff.
Hi, I'm Eric Flowers, your Indian River County Sheriff, and I have served in this position for the last 4 years. You elected me in 2020. I took office on January 5th, 2021. Prior to that, I had served in the Indian River County Sheriff's Office since October of 2003, and so I am in my 21st year of service with the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. During that time, I've held a variety of positions. I started out as a road patrol deputy. I was hired by Sheriff Roy Raymond. I then served under Sheriff Lohr before taking office as your Indian River County Sheriff. I did 5 years undercover. During that time, I was in our drug unit. I traveled the state, did a variety of different cases. After serving as an undercover drug detective, I was promoted to sergeant of economic crimes, and I did that for about a year. Then I transitioned into community affairs. I was eventually promoted to lieutenant and then major, and I served as the major of the Bureau of Administration, the major of the Bureau of Law Enforcement, and then ultimately I was elected as your 11th Indian River County Sheriff. My roots here are deep. I went to Sebastian River High School. I've grown up here. It's been the only law enforcement agency that I've ever worked at, and I absolutely love being an Indian River County resident. I went through the Chamber Leadership Program many years ago, back in 2015. That was one of my favorites. I actually did Leadership Florida as well. I've been through the FBI National Academy training program as well, and many other leadership programs. I have a Bachelor in Business Administration from Stetson University. I have a Master's of Criminal Justice from University of Central Florida, and I am ABD for life on my doctorate. I got through 7 years of doctoral work. I defended my prospectus, which is the first 3 chapters of my dissertation, and then COVID hit, and I was in the middle of a campaign, and I termed out. I got to the full 7 years, so I am ABD, all but dissertation for life, and so it was a great honor to be able to go as far as I did in that process, and maybe someday after retirement I'll pick it up again, who knows. Otherwise, for introduction, I am married. I have a son, Easton, and I have 3 stepkids, and I live here in Indian River County. I've grown up here. I'm raising a family here. I'm the only candidate in the race who has children in the school system, and as your Indian River County Sheriff, my current budget is $74 million. I oversee 565 full-time employees. As part of the responsibilities of being sheriff, I police the unincorporated areas of Indian River County as the chief law enforcement officer. I'm also responsible for the jail. Last night we had about 420 inmates stay with us at the jail. We're responsible for feeding them, healthcare, all the things that go along with that, as well as the safety and security of our courthouse. So every day when people come and go throughout the courthouse, we're responsible for the safety of our judges and the entire judicial system. So the 3 biggest challenges that I face going into the second term is, first and foremost, inflation and the budget. We have seen a massive inflation in America, and that is hitting us hard. I'll get into that in just a second. The second item is, without a doubt, the fact that Indian River County is now a border county thanks to the policies that are happening out of Washington. I traveled to the border recently and I saw it firsthand. So for me, that's the second most important item, the fact that we're dealing with all these issues here locally that are really federal issues that have made their way to Indian River County. And I would say the third most important issue is the growth and expansion of Indian River County. Our community has grown so much, and keeping pace with that is going to be a very difficult thing into my next term, making sure that as we continue to grow at the rate that we've been growing, we're able to maintain the level of service that we have provided for so long to all the residents. So getting back to the first item, without a doubt, as the budget has increased, I have had to increase the pay of the employees. To get people to stay here, to want to work in Indian River County, to be a part of our team, pay is a big deal. And so, yes, my budget has absolutely increased. Fortunately, the county commission has never had to raise taxes due to the inflation and the cost of homes. The taxes have naturally gone up as a result of that. The value of homes has gone up, the taxable value. So the additional revenue has covered those increases up until now. We've seen that starting to slow. And so we know that in the next coming years, and certainly in my second term, that dollar amount that comes in every year is going to slow down. And so it's going to be a challenge keeping up, keeping people paid as inflation continues to grow, but the home values don't continue to increase. So that's a massive challenge, something that I think about every day and trying to figure out, essentially when this bubble bursts, how we deal with that on the other side of it. The second part that I talked about was our border, or the fact that we are a border county. I traveled to El Paso, Texas. I stood at the border wall. I talked to Border Patrol. I went there with DEA and with our partners at Border Patrol. And I can tell you, when I left El Paso, Texas on a flight from El Paso to Atlanta, there were immigrants on the flight with me that were leaving there and traveling to Atlanta. There are people leaving our border every single day, traveling to Florida, and they are in our community. They are here. In December, there was 7,000 people in the holding facility that I toured. Those 7,000 people were vastly made up of Venezuelan gangs and people who are coming to the United States through Mexico to cause problems. And I can tell you that other places have seen a rise in crime as a result of these things. New York, Chicago, Atlanta, all those places. We have to be vigilant. And the first thing I did on the Friday when I got back was brief my team, my leadership team, as many of us as I could get in the room to talk about what that looks like for us and how we continue to fight this, not just the human side of it, but also the drugs that are coming across our border. So those are all massive challenges that we're actively dealing with and working on, and definitely something that I will face well into my second term. The last item is the growth of Indian River County. We see the fact that we're adding an off-ramp on Oslo Road. That's going to add additional businesses. He's going to add additional homes out west. All of those are going to need additional police services, and figuring out how to do that as we have this shrinkflation thing that's happening. We're getting less for our dollar because it costs more. All of that is going to be a massive challenge to figure out how to employ and continue to grow law enforcement. In this coming budget, I had to cut the number of additional positions that I have due to the fact that the dollars just aren't there. And so going forward, it's going to be a massive challenge to figure out how to fully staff the Indian River County Sheriff's Office as the community continues to grow. So I set in place when I took office a 10-year plan, and that 10-year plan is aimed at recognizing what our community is going to be like 10 years from when I originally took office in 2021. And I can tell you we are moving at a much faster pace than I thought we would in the development and getting things done. Our real-time crime center, our license plate reader technology, our body cams, all the things we're doing in the jail to reduce recidivism, all those things are further along than I ever thought they could have been when I took office just 4 years ago. However, with these additional challenges that have come along, it has put some challenges in there that I wasn't expecting. And so every day I continue to adjust that plan, looking forward, trying to fully staff us, trying to grow the agency. And so my plan is to stay on that course, to stay the course, to ensure that we are continue to receive the level of services that we've provided over the years. I created a customer service unit. That's one of the things that I'm so proud of. And for us to continue at this level, doing all the things that we're doing, we're going to have to be very creative over the course of the next term. And so really my first day in office is to get everybody sworn in and to get them back on track and working. We're already there. Our team has done an amazing job over the last 4 years. And so I think once they realize that I'm here to stay, that I'm going to be sheriff for a very long time, it will absolutely help bolster where we're headed and get that 10-year plan moving forward so that we can accomplish all the goals that I set out to do just a few short years ago. Our team in the jail has done an amazing job. We've come so far. Our recidivism program, we've had over 48 people who have entered that program. We start meeting with them before they leave us, 90 days before they leave us. And we obviously choose people that are, well adept to actually being successful. So we take the folks who maybe didn't have a friend group or a good friend group or good parents growing up, and we work with them, and we meet with them 90 days out. We say, hey, we want you to not come back to us here at the jail. How can we ensure that doesn't happen? And so we make sure they have a place to live, that they have a place to work. We have many second chance employers. We're getting ready to have our second chance hiring event inside the jail. We bring the Flow bus in, which is the license on wheels bus. So we make sure that everybody has an ID card before they leave us so that they can get a job, so they can get anything that they're entitled to, so that they can not come back to the jail. We brought in the Treasure Coast Community Health to provide healthcare services. Those are wraparound services. So they're being treated inside of our jail as an actual patient of Treasure Coast Community Health. When they leave us, they have appointment cards for vision, dental, for all the other services that they need. And so our goal is really to reduce the number of folks that are in the jail. I can tell you when I took office, we had over 600 people that are in the jail, and through a variety of different programs, we're down to about 420 now, and we can hope we can continue to reduce that number. But on the flip side of that, we're arresting people at an all-time high rate. You know, we brought in over 6,000 people last year on a variety of different charges. Many of them are making their way off to prison because we're making good cases through the license plate reader system, through our real-time crime center, and the ones who don't are awaiting trial, and they're still with us. And so we've really made some incredible improvements. A lot of people don't realize how effective our license plate reader system is. You know, we have over 115 license plate readers that are real-time crime center monitors, and so that program has been wildly successful. Every single day we have a new incident, and continuing to keep all these things going is part of what I will be doing into my next term. And so I don't think a lot of people have realized I'm not one who sits around and beats my chest all the time. You know, I love doing the job. I love being your sheriff. And so it's been a difficult process throughout the campaign trail to really sit down and beat my chest and say, look at all the things that we've accomplished in the last 4 years. But when I do sit down and do it, I realize how far we've come from taking care of our employees to taking care of our inmates to taking care of our community through customer service. It's really been an amazingly successful first term. And anybody who looks into the things that we've accomplished has to say we are up there with one of the best agencies in the state of Florida. This morning, I actually went down and greeted a class at Indian River State College that is learning from our STAR team, which is the Sheriff's Traumatic Advocate Response Team. And what I say out there is, our people have to be at 100% when you call 911. We can't be at 80%. We can't be at 50%. We have to be at 100%. And our Sheriff's Traumatic Advocate Response Teams is one of the core reasons why we've been so successful for the last 4 years. You know, I mentioned to that class that there are people who are driving around in patrol cars that are at 50% or 30% or even committing, you know, contemplating suicide. And so taking care of our employees, whether it be through their health and wellness, through their mental health, all those things are important components to making sure that they are absolutely ready to be ready when our community calls us and when they need that help. And so I'm incredibly proud of all the things we've accomplished, from STAR team to our license plate reader network, our real-time crime center. And I believe that if the public will look into that and see the things that I've accomplished over the first term, they'll realize that I'm going to continue down that path. We're going to continue to leverage technology to make our community safer. You know, over the first 4 years that I've been in office, we've reduced crime. Our auto burglaries are down over 30%. Our residential burglaries are down over 30%. Our traffic homicides are down over 40% since 2018. The number of citations that we've issued are up. I just put that statistic out the other day. We issued 8,000 citations in 2023, or in 2022. So far in 2023, they issued over 10,000 citations. And so those numbers are up. The things that we are doing is working. It's all data driven. It's all based on the information that we're receiving, and I'm just proud of our team. The reason I have such a problem beating on my chest is that it's not me physically out there doing that. I have the pleasure of guiding the team and being the leader, and I love doing that role, but I like to give the credit to the people who deserve it the most, which are the true heroes. And so regardless of what anybody says, I've been incredibly blessed for 21 years to work at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office with a true group of heroes. They're amazing people, every single one of them, and they do an incredible job, and our community should be so proud of all of our first responders for what they do out there. And so I've just been blessed to be able to be the leader of those heroes, and I hope that you'll consider voting for me and keeping me as that leader.